And next, Dr. Wang from Akron is going to be presenting AJI2 customer satisfaction process. Would you like me to click for you, or
Can I use the clicker?
would you like to, or would you like me to?
I can do it.
Okay, yes, sir. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. First of all, I would like to express our sincere gratitude about OU for your great hospitality, organizing this event, creating such a wonderful and exciting atmosphere to enable us to all talk together and collaborate. Our project certainly benefit from that. And our team consists of myself and also Dr. Ling from University of Akron. Both of us are associate professors at the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Both of us are responsible for our aerospace system engineering program. So yesterday we had a very good discussion with our industry partner, Brian from CSD, Computer System Designers, and Wendy from C-Square Technologies. We're talking about coming back to the Oklahoma City to visit them, to look at their system, to move forward our project. Now, our tech monitor from FAA is Mr. Jay Backrack. So we've been talking for the past few weeks and to get the project started. So a little bit more about my research background. I got my PhD from Purdue in 2006. I went to SUNY Binghamton, spent 3 years there as a research assistant professor. In my past 10 years of professional career, I've been working with many companies on many applied research projects on process improvement. So the application of different industrial and system engineering tools, such as discrete event simulation modeling, agent-based modeling, statistics, quality, and so forth, to look at different areas, different levels of different companies, organizations across multiple sectors, from transportation system to warehouse operations, manufacturing, government, education, and as well as healthcare industry. One example, a few years ago, one of my research was the application of Lean principles in hospital design. So actually we designed the first hospital in the nation that was completely designed and implemented using Lean principles as virtual health in South New Jersey area. Directly related to our customer satisfaction process project, I worked with the New York State Senate to study how to make workforce happy, how to balance the work life. Basically, we identify the best practice, conduct survey and the focus group to making recommendations. So my co-PI, Dr. Lin, has extensive human factor engineering research, and she has many years experience designing and evaluating different learning systems, and of course with her expertise in aviation with our close collaboration with the industry partners, we very much look forward to the successful completion of the project. I also very much look forward to our March meeting in Daytona Beach. In fact, I already booked my hotel in the morning. On the high level, our objective of the project, AJI2 customer satisfaction process, or the first question is who is a customer? Our tech monitor, Mr. Jay Backrack, help us get clarification. The customers really are both internal and external customers. It's better phrased as stakeholders. So basically, those are the air traffic controllers, the airway transportation system specialists throughout their career, from the beginning, from when they are still new trainee going through the academy. So we're looking at how to make, not only collecting data, analyzing data, but most importantly is create a process so that we can collect, analyze data, and then utilize the data. So really importantly is to create a review and reaction mechanism to better utilize the data we have from the customer satisfaction side. On a high level, first we're gonna understand what are the current process. We're gonna do a lot of literature review and then looking at the current practice and identifying, mapping out the current process at the FAA. And also, we're gonna conduct research other industries, like Navy, Army, healthcare, many other industries we can learn, not only their success stories, but also the lessons learned from them. And finally, we're gonna making a recommendation, an optimal implementable plan so that we can save cost and also gathering the most accurate data to enable us to take actions to improve the overall AJI2 product and services. To do that, we propose 5 tasks. Task number 1, so we're gonna do the current process mapping. We're gonna do, since we're talking about all the stakeholders throughout the process, so we're gonna do cross and multi-functional diagram, and also we're gonna use a SIPOC approach, identify what is suppliers all the way to the end of the customers. So mapping out the current process certainly help us understand what are the gaps we have, and we want to know if, when, and how the data, the customer satisfaction data are collected. And not only that, but also what after that. After data is collected, so what kind of analytical strategy we use, and how do we use those data to take actions? So, here are just a couple pictures showing, the multi-function diagram that's actually from one of my previous projects, studying the hospital perioperative systems. And another example, a general example for the SIPOC diagram. The task 2 is to conduct extensive literature review, not only focus on the research articles, but also the online postings, social network discussions. Throughout our industry partners, we'll reach out to different industry sectors. Yesterday, we were talking with Wendy. She can help us to reach out to hospitality industry to learn how the Marriott, the Hyatt are doing to collect data and analyze data and to improve their services. It's very interesting. Like, for example, Marriott has different brands, from really top brand, Ritz-Carlton, to other brand, Courtyard. So their customer base is different. The question will be, what kind of customer satisfaction survey they use? Do they use the same universal survey, or they use different survey? And how do they analyze data? How do they take actions? So after getting those data, we're gonna categorize the findings into different categories. The success stories, lessons learned, the data collection method, data analytical method. Well, in data collection method, we want to know how frequently they do data collection, and the mode of collection, online or paper-based, or some other means. And also, importantly, is the feedback loop. So how do we utilize data? How do we create a review and a response mechanism? So what are the trigger points? So those are the things we're gonna emphasize on. So in my capacity as the director of our aerospace system engineering program, so last year we just did our first ABAT visit, Accreditation Board for Engineering Technology. So we passed it, there's no deficiency, no weakness identified throughout the process. A lot of effort and implemented a integrated process for us to demonstrate our educational objectives and student outcomes are met. So basically, we have what we call direct measures and indirect measures. The indirect measures are those like a survey, employer survey, co-op employer surveys, exit interviews. We call it indirect measures. In terms of direct measures, those really are course-based measures. For example, Aerospace System Engineering 1, we're using the score from the final exam. So we're setting some trigger point. Now, if 80% of the students, the final exam score is less than 85, then there's a trigger. So the trigger point will initiate some discussion. Well, discussion may or may not result in some actions. That's how we did in our department for our program. And of course, there are many other industry will study and identify their best practices, and also categorize and analyze the way they're doing different things, and also consider the unique need from FAA and making some of the recommendations. The design, survey and the focus group, of course, are the two most direct way to getting data to measure how satisfied the different stakeholders are throughout their processes. One of the research outcome from our New York State Senate work-life balance study is to comparing there are two ways to do survey and a focus group. One is to conduct focus group before the survey, and so that you can better design a survey to ask the right questions. Another approach is to conduct survey, getting some result, and then form another focus group, so for the confirmatory purposes. So there are different ways and to design a survey and combine with the result from the focus group. So the design of the survey is a science, because we need to measure the survey reliability. We need to measure the validity of the survey. So we're gonna spend some time to look at the current survey in FAA for customer satisfaction and also making our work suggestions. Task number 4, the data analytical strategy. So once we have the data, how do we use those data? Those are the big questions. So for the quantitative data, of course, we can do the summary statistics, look at the mean, the median, some of the correlation analysis. But we're also proposing to do more advanced analytics using data mining approach, identify some of the hidden patterns. For example, if you go to a grocery store, you may find that most time the milk and the eggs are located in really different areas, different locations, far away. Or the reason is their study found that most people buy eggs or buy milk. So they use the result and then redesign the location of the grocery on the shelf, so that purposely placing these two items in long distance and hoping the customers and the consumers can spend more time in the store and then increase their sales. So there are a lot of data mining skills, and then we used before from other patient data satisfaction analysis. We're planning to use in our project as well. Well, for the qualitative data, some of the subjective questions from the survey and also the focus group result, we're planning to use the grounded theory approach, and also that will lead to the knowledge discovery, and we'll emphasize on the actions, what kind of action we should take, based on the data. Well, the task number 5 is providing such a comprehensive recommendation for the process, not only collecting and analyze data, but also taking actions, to design an optimal feedback loop for FAA tech training, and set up the right trigger point so that we can react to those trigger points. So basically, the identification of the best industry practice, along with data analytical strategy, will form our final recommendation. So I think that's the last slide. Any questions? Thank you very much.